What does this board, this book, and a big cup of coffee have in common? Hey guys, Sarah here from Mirror to Blue, and I am super excited today to share with you my miracle morning routine. If you followed along on our vlogs, I have mentioned my miracle morning for quite some time, and it's about time that I finally sit down and do a video on it. A lot of you have asked about it, a lot of you have shared what you have done, and now I'm going to share kind of an in-depth review of what my miracle morning looks like every day. About a year ago, I read this life-changing book called The Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod. It is basically all about doing things every morning that will in turn change your life, and it goes a lot along with the same principles of the book The Slight Edge, which I have right here, by Jeff Olson, which is about doing little things every day and seeing like the compound effect of them on your life. Things like reading a good book, praying, saving money, that kind of stuff. And then the miracle morning is basically an extension of that and talking about how doing those things in the morning, every morning, really starts your day off on the right foot and helps you achieve your dreams, be happier, and just learn as much as possible so you can achieve all of your goals and be a successful person. So before just jumping in and doing your miracle morning, I would definitely recommend you actually read the book The Miracle Morning, and I would also recommend you read The Slight Edge, because they will give you the why behind the miracle morning and really give you a motivation for why you want to do this, and that will help you actually wake up every day to do this. I wake up at 5 o'clock every day and do my miracle morning, even usually on weekends, and I do that because I have a big why behind it and I want to reach my goals, and I've seen the effects it's had on my life. It also, as a mom, is my one time where I'm just like alert and focus on myself every day, and I don't get that time really any other part of the day. My daughter never wakes up during that time anymore, and it's really a time where I know I will get that time to myself, and so it's just a wonderful way to start my day focused on myself, because I give myself to others the rest of the day. So it's just a wonderful time to center myself before I start getting pulled in all different kinds of directions. So I'd recommend reading these two books beforehand for sure. So the Miracle Morning has a breakdown of different steps that you should include in your Miracle Morning, and the acronym SAVERS is what is used. So the first S for SAVERS is for scribing, and this is spending some time writing things down in various ways. You could journal, you could do a gratitude journal, you could just write, there's a 5-minute journal if you're interested in that. It's just a time to just kind of reflect. Then there's affirmations is the A, and this is where you have certain things you say out loud or in your head every day to start your day off on the right foot. And these are things you're saying that you want to be true or you believe to be true, and just it's the power of the mind. Saying these things every day gets your subconscious really believing them, so they will eventually come true. V is visualization, so it's visualizing in detail the life you want. E is exercise, so having some kind of exercise in your morning. This is the only one I don't do in the morning because I don't like to have to shower in the morning. I shower at night, so I try to do that later in the day, but it is recommended in the Miracle Morning, so it's worth mentioning. R is reading, so making sure you're reading about 10 pages or a certain time limit of a really good book, and this is usually a nonfiction book that will help your life in some way. It's adding a benefit to your life in some way, giving you knowledge, giving you tips and tricks, or just educating you on a certain topic. And then the last S is for silence. So this is things like meditation, prayer, those kind of things where you're just sitting in silence for a certain amount of time. So in the book The Miracle Morning, Hal Elrod goes through each of these things. There's a chapter on each, and he talks about the actual research behind why they are important. He talks about him putting them into his life and how it's changed his life, and gives a lot of examples on different things you can do for each of those. So I would definitely read more about those if you're interested, because what works for me might not work for you. I am a Christian, so for silence I do prayer, but if you are atheist or something like that, obviously that probably wouldn't make sense. So you could do things like meditation or other things that Hal Elrod talks about in the book. So I would definitely recommend reading that so you actually know your different options for each of these categories, because there are different options for each. So I'm just going to take you through a typical miracle morning for me. I wake up at 5 a.m. most mornings. I have my coffee already going. I have it set up the night before so it's brewed when I wake up. I get some creamer out, I pour it in my cup, and then I pour some hot coffee. I come into the living room and sit down. Hal Elrod talks about how it's beneficial to not be in bed because you don't want to fall back asleep. You want to be focused, and this is really a time of focusing on yourself. So I sit in the living room. I usually have a blanket on me, and I have my coffee, and I'm all cuddled up, and I'm excited for the day. I have the lights slightly dim so I can slowly wake up, and it's just like such a quiet, wonderful time. With me on the couch, I have my planner. I have these 3 notebooks that I got at Target. I have my vision board. I have a lap desk that I got at Target just so I can easily write while sitting on the couch. And I have one of many books, so whatever book I'm reading at that time I have with me, and a pen. So the very first thing I do, and this is slightly different than the Miracle Morning, I've adjusted it to make sense for my life, but I get out this is called my Celia memory book. My daughter's name is Celia, so I have this book that has memories. I just started it about 2 months ago, and I basically just write her age, and then I just think of the day before, and I think of, was there anything really cute or hilarious or some kind of milestone she hit, and then I just write about it. So I just write little things like, for example, at 18 months I said she's telling us lots of stories, mostly having to do with poop. So funny. So just little random things that I don't want to forget, because pictures are worth 1,000 words, but actually writing about the things is very important to me. So I'm excited to one day have this filled up. So I do that every morning while my brain is still remembering everything from the day before. And then I also get out my gratitude journal. So I do the scribing part first, but I don't do everything else in the same order. So this is my gratitude journal. I basically just have the month, and then I write 2 things per day. So for example, I say on September 11th I wrote Sundays. I'm grateful for Sundays to catch up and have fun with Celia, or as a family if Santa's not working. And then I wrote down I am grateful for randomly running into someone and enjoying myself. So when I run into people. So just little tiny things. And this is really important, to stay humble, to stay grateful, even if life is not going the way you want. It's just really important to remember all those little tiny things that you are grateful for. And then if you're having a bad day, you can just go back and read tons. And I used to bullet journal, so I have months and months of these in my bullet journal as well. But now I keep it all in just one journal that I can look back on, and I really love thinking of all those things every day. Then I get out, this is kind of just my collections journal, and I have a spot in here for my Miracle Morning where I have the different steps of savers, and then I have my Miracle Morning and what that looks like. So I also will look over my planner. That's one of the first things I do. I go to the day of the week it is, and then I just look up what I wrote down I have to do that day, just so I'm in the right frame of mind for the day. And then I know what to do next in case I forget. So after I do my 3 journals, basically, I will do 5 minutes of prayer. And I have, I don't want to show too much of it, but I basically just have this sheet that says silence prayer, because that's the silence part of the Miracle Morning. And I wrote down like the main important people in my life that I love, and I wrote down things that I want to pray for them about. So just to give you an example, for my husband's hand, I pray for his faith, his fatherhood, work, health, and his passions. And then I expand on that as well. But usually I'll set a timer for 5 minutes. So I like to follow the Acts way of praying. So you start with adoration, where you're just like worshiping God. Then you confess your sins, A-C, confession. And then T is thanksgiving. You give thanks to God for all the things He's done for you. And then S is supplication. So basically that's when you pray for people and for yourself. So that's when I use this, and I get it out and I pray for the people I love. I try to pray for 1 or 2 people a day. And then I also have a section for world. So I pray for things like the U.S. leaders, police, different groups like that. Issues I pray for, like infertility, terrorism, maternity, parenting, hatred, that kind of thing. And then I have a section on me. So after I pray for people and leaders and things like that and issues, then I pray a couple things about myself. So like healthy mind, my being a wife, motherhood, that kind of thing. So I take about 5 minutes. Sometimes I go over that. Sometimes it's hard for me, so it just depends on the day. But I try to at least devote 5 minutes to prayer during my miracle morning. After prayer, after the silence, I do my affirmations, which I also have in this notebook. So I have 10 affirmations. I've had more in the past, but I've found that I get bored and I don't like to read them if I have too many. So I just spend however long it takes reading these over. Sometimes I say them out loud, sometimes I don't, sometimes I try to memorize them. It just kind of depends on the day. I'm not going to read them all to you, but just some things I say to myself every day. Firstly, I have everything I need to make today a great day. I have to try to really believe that, because some days I wake up like, oh, really? I have to work today, or I have to do this today. And so I try to switch my brain into being more positive. I am happy and content with my life. Even though I have dreams that I want to achieve, I try to be really happy and content with where I'm at, knowing I want to progress, but knowing that where I am right now is great. Some other things, my mess is my message, and every day I'm using my knowledge and experiences to positively impact others. I try to tell myself, this may seem arrogant, but it's trying to just put yourself in a positive mindset. So I say I am an amazing mother, wife, sister, daughter, friend, citizen, provider, and YouTube content creator. Like, I just try to tell myself that and believe it so that I'm really doing good every day, and so on and so forth. So I'm just trying to really speak myself into these things really coming true. And there's a lot of research behind this, and just the power of a positive mind. After my affirmations, I do my visualization. So I get out my vision board, which looks like this. I still have a lot of stuff to add to it, but I basically just thought of a lot of areas of my life that how I want them to be. So at the center, as you'll see, I have God and quotes about God in the center. I have vacation places we'd like to go, house, what I want our future house to look like, exercise related things. I have about being debt free and finances. I have family and stuff like that. I really want to add a lot more about family, but it's hard to find pictures to express what I'm thinking in my head. And I want to add a lot of other goals. I'll probably fill up the back as well. And so I just spent a few minutes just really looking at this, picturing the life I want, what a typical day would look like, and that kind of thing. Because once again, the more you put into your mind of what you want, the more you're likely to go out and get it, and the world will bring it back to you. The book Think and Grow Rich talks about this a lot, and so I'm really trying to incorporate that into my miracle morning, because I think it's very important, and it's just super motivating to start your day that way. And then after that, I just take whatever book I'm reading and I read it till the end of my time. So I wake up at 5. I'm usually down here around 5:10 and sitting on the couch around 5:10, 5:15. Takes me a little bit just to get up. So then I have about 45 minutes before I have to get ready for the day. So from 5 to 6 is really when my miracle morning is. So I usually finish with those other things around 5:30, and then I take my book and I read that until 6 o'clock. So I can usually fly through books pretty fast depending on the book and how much material there is and stuff. So I just want to show you guys some of the books I've read in the last 10 months since I've started this. Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, Crazy Love by Francis Chan, Make It Happen by Laura Casey, The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. Well, I probably said that wrong. The Art of Social Media by Guy Kawasaki and Peg Fitzpatrick. I've read Spiritual Disciplines for the Christian Life by Donald S. Whitney. She's Got Issues by Nicole Eunice. The Gifts of Imperfection by Brene Brown. I reread The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson. And then I also read The Magic Art of Tidying Up by Marie Kondo, but I lent that to a friend, so I don't have it with me right now. So that is everything for my miracle morning. I absolutely adore this. I've talked about it so much in the vlogs. It's something that I absolutely love to do. I highly recommend it to anyone and everyone. I've actually bought the book for people because I just am so passionate about it. And I feel it has definitely been life-changing. Now, I've only been doing it for about a year, which is a good amount of time, but you know, goals and dreams take time to happen. But I can see how reading all of these like really good books have made a difference in my life. I feel like I am a better person. I know more about achieving my dreams. I have more knowledge than I did a year ago. And I definitely have really worked on having a positive frame of mind, which I think can just do wonders for your life. When you truly believe what you want to happen will happen, and you're committed to working toward it every single day, it really changes your whole day. So I would recommend it to everyone. Let me know in the comments if you have a miracle morning routine, and let me know if there's anything you do differently. Let me know some of the books you've read that you would recommend. I just love book recommendations. I can't read fast enough to get through them all. If you aren't doing a miracle morning, let me know if you're interested now and if there's any way I can help support you in that. I just think it is such a wonderful tool. Definitely start by reading the book if you can, but if not, just jump right in and try it yourself. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys next time.